passionate about it I have become, and how much space it takes up in my thoughts. That was definitely surprising. I expected it to be a little bit more of a side thing, than I kind of did at the end of the day, or, just casually, wasn't thinking too much about it, doing my exercises, and every now and then I would go and surf. But no, it's like a constant thing. So that surprised me. And that has, come with some not so great side effects, I think. Or I think maybe the fact that it's taking up that much space is the side effect of, other stuff. That I'm not doing enough, which is, I guess, also why it's occupying my mind so much. Because, that's a belief and sort of subconscious drive of mine that I should be working really hard. Like, there's no, like, it's okay to not, to not reach your goals, or to fail. Like, you don't have to be perfect. I don't have that drive, but I do have a drive in a subconscious belief that you should do everything you can. If you want something, you need to work really hard for it. So I tend to go, like, I'm an overachiever in that sense, that I do, like, I go in really hard for something, and I tend to believe that rest and recovery is not something I should need or do as much. So that definitely took a toll on me the past week, or, over these few weeks. It kind of like drove up to there, because I had a lot of other work and a lot of other things that required my focus, but I also wanted to do this. So I just added that on top of all of it and took out, rest and recovery and other things, like days when I just wasn't thinking about this. And that definitely, drove me to my limit, and I had to take a few days off. So that's what's showing up for me the most during this. And another thing that's also sort of elevating this is that when the waves get a bit bigger, I do kind of shame myself, or I am critical of that fear in myself when it is bigger and I'm feeling less confident to go out, because I do have, this subconscious belief that I should be tough and strong, and that resurfaces a little bit. Like, I know how to deal with it and to address it when I can take it slow and I can take my time. And for me, it doesn't show up that often, but coupled with this thing that I should really go all out to reach my goals, the clash there is, the interactive effect of those two things I've noticed a bit. And so I think that's the thing that I carry the most sort of shame about, that I have a harder time going out in bigger conditions. Well, it represents the opportunity to show you guys the process of going for a goal, and what comes up for me when I do that. And I also don't know, I honestly don't know if I'm going to make this or not. I'm not posting all of this after the fact that I've succeeded or not, like, it's happening every day, and I don't know if I'm going to get it. So it's also about showcasing and sort of doing it myself, in terms of, yes, this is what I want to do. I don't know if I'm going to succeed or not, but that's okay. So it's the vulnerability of being seen in a desire, whether I'm going to get it or not, I think, honestly, all of it. Every time I'm out, every time I'm being really trying to go for it, I feel super connected to it. Because the reason the reason I surf and why it's important for me, I love, which is exactly what I do in my work, right? Like, love this connection between performance, goals, passion, wanting to go somewhere, and how that affects you, and how I manage my inner world, and what it means for myself in terms of, you know, my mindset, my mind, my brain. How does everything that happens on the inside of me, you know, how does that interact with my outer world, and specifically in the surf? So this challenge really like brings all of that into focus. So yeah, I guess that's also why I've been becoming so passionate about doing it, because it's all the parts that I love doing rolled into one, which is like surfing as is, performance, self-mastery, emotions, being vulnerable and sharing it with you guys, communicating around these things, finding ways to explain psychological phenomena in a way that's relatable to people who are not professionals, you know, like all of that into one. And that's it. That's when I feel the most alive, when I get to do all of those things. It is to enjoy the process, put focus on what you're putting in, not what you're getting out. And I think also to see all parts of my life as parts of bringing me towards this goal, as in my rest and my disconnecting from this is also necessary steps for me to reach the goal. So to not forget that part, which is hard, you know, like, cause it's, as you've seen, I'm very passionate. I really enjoy this. So then you think, oh, I don't need to rest as much. I don't need to disconnect from this. But clearly I do. This past 2 weeks has definitely shown that to me. Yes, I guess. I mean, I'm not in any way disappointed with where I am at. I don't think I had a clear idea where I was going to be. Maybe I thought that I would have made it into a barrel by now. Not really made it out yet, because I feel like I'm mainly working on getting into one. Maybe I'm just hoping that once I get in, I'm just going to be able to get out. I don't know, but I'm happy where I'm at, I guess. I would 100% say to enjoy every moment of it. Be present for each thing, each session, each practice, each day. Let go of the outcome and just be present and enjoy it. Because no matter whether you succeed or not, you're going to miss it when it's done, and yeah, you just want to get the most out of each experience, whether it's good or whether it's bad. And because each time is not a make it or break it situation. It's just one puzzle piece. It's just one thing. And this challenge in itself is just one piece of me growing and into a better, happier, more free person, as well as a more skilled, more accomplished, but I don't want to say that, because what I mean is like someone who enjoys surf more and who has access to a wider, you know, variety of surf, in terms of like my comfort zone has grown and all of that. Nope. Absolutely not. I'm still doing it because I really want to get barreled. So this is a way for me to, you know, push myself, focus on that. Secondly, you know, to engage with you guys, being accountable, share this journey, get a lot of, you know, content and things that relates to my work. And thirdly, I knew it was going to bring out parts of me that I'm perhaps blind to or not currently aware of. It's basically bringing out issues that needs to come up that I could deal with. I would say it's definitely the lineup in Bingin when I've been there has been extremely respectful. I remember sitting there being, it's my turn at the peak and there's a wave coming in and I don't feel like I want it. And the guy like next to me in line or behind me like, are you going? Do you want it? And I'm just like, nope. And then he goes for it. Like he asks me first, knowing that I have priority. I thought that was that shouldn't be special, but it was. And so that's been a great experience for me doing that. And I think it's because it has a very specific takeoff point and it's very clear who is at the peak, and even, the first time I was out there, I was just sitting there learning the spot, learning the waves, sitting at the peak. I wasn't really intending to go for anything that day. I knew that, I ended up doing that. I ended up going towards the end of it, but I'd sat there already for an hour, and then literally the guys around me started asking me, do you not want any waves? Are you not going to go for it? This looks like a really nice wave. Do you not want it? And really started to encourage me. And like, basically they said, whatever wave you want is yours because you've waited long enough. And that was really nice. I really enjoy that kind of communicative and respectful lineup. Well, I'd say to have more fun with it, take a little bit of the pressure off, and maybe go for a few more fun serves. And yeah, that's it. I think just enjoy it no matter what. And perhaps go and try some other spots that might be barreling, because I've literally only surfed in Bingin so far with that well, I've done other surfs, but for other reasons. But in terms of maybe as a bit of a learning for barrels to see if there's other spots that I should try as well. That's it.